We'll talk a little bit about the Definitive Edition, the new redo of Mafia in a second, and I'll show you the latest videos from that. But first I want to show you this. This is a website I made for Mafia when it first came out. This was actually made this website before Mafia came out. This is my dedication to the game. This site ended up being the biggest fan site for Mafia in the whole of Europe. It was accessed by people in America as well. It was just a massive site at the time, so big that I actually got invited down to 2K. At the time it was Take-Two Interactive rather. I met Andrew Morley, the producer, and I also chatted quite a bit to some of the guys from Illusion Softworks via ICQ. So this was the site that I made back then. I mean, obviously, compared to sites today, it's just hilarious. I mean, we did have little mouse overs on there. There was an animation there, but it was a Java thing, and I don't have Java installed on this, so it's just a big blank square. But I want to show you this. This is the review. Now, I haven't read all of this yet. I just started reading it. I thought I'd just let you see it. Now, this was my review. Now, it says here in April 2001, there's me specs, by the way, you can have a laugh at that. In April 2001, Fogg, he was a guy who I played Hidden and Dangerous 1 with online. Fogg and I were invited to Take-Two Studios in London to see a very early version of Hidden and Dangerous 2, a World War II game that we were developing. I also ran the biggest site in Europe for that as well. It was huge, even bigger than my Mafia site, the Hidden and Dangerous 2 site. Had thousands and thousands of clicks. Really good site it was as well. Anyway, we saw the game and Andrew Morley, the UK producer, asked us if we wanted to have a look at Mafia. We were amazed at how good the game looked. We were so impressed we made this website, Mafia World, and did a mini preview of the game. So you can imagine how eager I was to see how Mafia had progressed in the 1.5 years since I last saw it play. My wait was over 2 days ago when the postman delivered a review copy. Thanks Take-Two. One of the first ever review copies probably ever given out, to be honest. And I've been playing it solid since it arrived, finally finishing it 10 minutes ago, and here's what I thought of it. Before I get into the game, I should tell you that Mafia comes on 3 CDs and has a very detailed and extremely helpful map of the city and the surrounding areas. The full install is 1.86 gig, wow, and will run on anything over a 500 meg Pentium Athlon with 96 meg of RAM, guys, and a 16 meg video card. It won't run on Windows 95. Before I played the game, I had it in my mind that this review would be a comparison between Mafia and GTA 3. However, after playing them both, I have now scrapped that idea, as in my opinion Mafia is totally unique to anything I have ever played before. GTA 3 is a game, Mafia is an experience. You see, this is the thing about Mafia. It was groundbreaking. It just blew the competition away at the time. It was just a stunning game. I'm not going to read all of this. I'll just go on a little bit further. I'll read the last bit, the summing up. Mafia got me immersed into a game like none before. I actually felt part of a mob. This is why I said GTA 3 is a game and Mafia is an experience. I felt great pleasure at times when I was beating some punk over the head with a bit. Mac, you can't say that in 2020. How dare he call my girl names? Oh wow. I was once talking to a snitch asking for some info. He was not being very cooperative. He then insulted me, so I gave him a beating. Mac, what were you like back then? He pleaded with me to stop and offered to tell me what I wanted. It's this kind of interactivity that makes Mafia great. Mafia is very violent and also has quite a bit of swearing. Oh wow. One mission in particular has you fighting some guys while the Don is constantly yelling out of the window, "Kill the bastards. Go on Tommy, kill every one of those bastards." So you may want to turn them speakers down a touch. Wow, the difference. See, back when we had morals, guys. We've had a 15-minute video showing a lot of in-game footage, almost a full mission, as well as some kind of CGI and stuff like that from the game engine. Now, I think this is how all developers should do it. I mean, it gives us a really good idea of what we're going to get when Mafia comes out. And so hats off to the developers for that. That's great. But, guys, I'm concerned. I'm very concerned about what I saw. This looks like a major dumbing down of what Mafia was, and we didn't want that. We wanted a modern, up-to-date graphical representation of Mafia. We didn't need much changing in the game. I mean, bugs, absolutely it had bugs, but we've had this huge, what looks like a massive dumb down as far as I could see. We've got this ridiculous arc when you throw Molotovs. And I'm sorry, but that's bullshit. I hate these things. I mean, it deprives you of them great moments when you land a perfect shot. If you're in a game and you're throwing like a Molotov like you had to in Mafia, you just had a power bar. And you had to aim with the crosshair, then release where you thought the power was good enough to make the distance to your target. And it was such a great feeling when that Molotov landed. But now in the new Mafia, all that's gone. You'll never get that good feeling because you will hit 100% of the time because you have a little arc on your screen which shows exactly where that Molotov will land should you release the button. In other words, what's the point? What is the actual fucking point of being able to have Molotovs if there's no skill involved in throwing them? I mean, why are you robbing me of that feeling? I love that feeling when I landed that perfect Molotov, and it's gone now. I'm never going to have that. I've also noticed as well that there's unlimited ammo in the mission that you're seeing on the screen. That this walk in the country or drive in the country. I can't remember what it's called, but I do remember at the end when you were escaping in the back of your truck, you had to shoot the police, and you only had a limited number of bullets, so you had to be good. Now it's infinite, so there's that. But do you want to know the worst of the worst, guys? It looks like they've implemented Gears of War's cover shooter mechanics. I mean, Mafia was never a cover shooter, but now it looks like it's a cover shooter. You can just see them sticking to walls and barricades here. I mean, I think this is how it was in Mafia 3, if I remember rightly. I could be wrong, I haven't checked, but I'm pretty sure it was. And I despise this kind of combat system because, again, it just takes away this sense of freedom that you have as a player, being able to run behind a barricade and crouch. I mean, I want to be able to do that. I want the actual option to crouch myself. I don't want to just stick to a fucking barricade, you know, where you're perfectly safe and nobody can hurt you. I want to have to crouch. I want to have to look around the room and decide whether I can crouch behind that. And if I'm crouched and it's too high and I can't fire over it, then I have to fire around the side of it, which makes me vulnerable, which makes it a bit harder. I like that. It's a sense of realism. I don't want to just be stuck to shit, and it looks like I'm going to be with this. It's disappointing, guys. We've also got kind of reticles telling you where to go. Now, I did have a few troubles in Mafia the first time I played it, finding a few things, but it was still nice to find them yourself. But now we're going to have these things. I mean, the HUD is a lot better than it used to be. I mean, it was a bit hoodie. The last in the original, it does look a lot better. I mean, the graphics look fantastic, but to me, you know, it just looks to me like they've. I'm not going to say the word consoleized because it triggers too many people, but shall I say modernized with all the bad? Modern games, one of the biggest gripes I have with them is they are totally unimmersive. Now and then you'll get a one that is immersive, like Ghosts, which I just did the other day, but the few and far between. And this is what I said in my original review, and that's why I showed you my original review at the beginning, because you could just see how immersive this game was, groundbreaking for its day. And I think they owe that to the actual developers of the day to actually just deliver an up-to-date but yet still immersive game of Mafia. And it doesn't look as if they're doing it. It looks to me like they're just adding all the bad stuff from Mafia 3 and taking away all the good stuff that was in Mafia 1. I mean, yes, it needed work. I would have liked to have seen the recoil reduced, but have you seen the recoil now? There pretty much isn't any. They've gone way too far the other way. I mean, the recoil I thought in Mafia 1 was too high. So yeah, I'd like to have seen that reduced. But, you know, it's tweaks, not huge wholesale changes to the combat system. And I'm sorry, but the combat system in Mafia, the remake, looks shite. It just looks like, call it Call of Mafia. All the bad stuff that I don't like about modern games seems to have been put into Mafia. And another thing, are we getting Free Ride Extreme and Free Ride? Because if we're not, then it ain't Mafia. Because they were huge parts of the game, and I've yet to see any information to say whether or not we're getting Free Ride and Free Ride Extreme. Or are they going to just cut that out the game as well? I mean, I never thought I'd even have to question these things. I thought it was a given that none of these things would be in the game, and I'm quite shocked that they are. I mean, so I'm now going to have to question a lot more things. So are we getting fast travel in this? Can you just fast travel back after a mission now? I just added that as well. Are you going to ruin the immersion of just finishing a mission and then having to get home without being pulled off the cops? I mean, the speed limit's out the way now. Is it just going to be GTA 3? I mean, are you going the full hog? Are you having an X-ray vision in the game as well? I mean, you seem to be just screwing over everything that made Mafia great as far as the combat and immersion goes. Where does it end? Where do you draw the line with this? It's bollocks. It's bollocks. I don't trust these developers anymore. I'm sorry. I just don't trust these developers anymore. I had me doubts at first when I heard that these were the same guys that did Mafia 3. And now it looks like all my fears have been validated. And it sucks. I mean, to end on a positive, the actual game looks fantastic. The world, the way they've done it is just brilliant. The lighting is great. The whole way the city looks, and I hear that they've even added to the city. I mean, that's great. I'm all for that, as long as it's keeping in touch with what we had. There's new cars as well, apparently. I mean, brilliant. Well done. Hats off to you guys for that. That's great. It looks astounding. I mean, it just as soon as I started to watch the actual video, I was thinking, my goodness, I cannot wait to get my hands on it. I mean, I still can't wait to get my hands on it. I doubt they'll give us a review copy after this, but hey, you know, I'm just going to speak my mind at the end of the day. I'm not going to be held back because of what might be damaging to me channel. I don't give a at the end of the day. I'm just a gamer, a passionate one, and I want passionate games. And that's why I love a lot of the old games, because they were written and made with passion, and a lot of the new games aren't. And you know, I'm happy that they're reimagining, well, not reimagining, but I'm happy that they're redoing old games, because a lot of the old games don't even work anymore. I want Fear. I want that done as well. I want a lot of these old classics to be brought back to life, but don't alter what they were. You have no right to do that. Just remake them with graphics, fix the bugs. That's it. That's it. Oh, I'm worried now. Damn it.